is driving me crazy.
You're driving me crazy. You're driving me crazy.
You know what drives me crazy? This whole debate between evolution and creation, or Darwinism and intelligent design. All right, we got people on both sides, very highly opinionated, very funded, very determined in their belief, trying to prove which one is correct, okay? Not happening. Let's take a look. Okay, first up, Darwinism, evolution. We've been taught this since we were in school, and it makes sense, all right? What happened? Darwin in the 1850s went to Galapagos in his ship called the Beagle, saw some species and some variations, and came up with this theory of natural selection, adaptation, and evolution through climate changes and things like that that cause the species to evolve or adapt genetically to meet them. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense to me. All right, great. Well, then he goes on to say, well, and that's also the origin of the species, tracing it all the way back that we just evolved out of this primordial slime and sort of randomly through selection and adaptation turned into the species, including the humans that we are now. Might be a little bit of a stretch. So let's go over to the other side and let's look at creation. The creation, intelligent design. What happened there? That God just sort of, by decree, by fiat, invented the world and created man in his image and likeness, and Adam and Eve, and we've had trouble ever since. Okay, not a lot of scientific proof for that. You know, we're kind of a science-minded people, so I can see why there might be some skeptics. All right, now, intelligent design, kind of like that. That sounds very scientific, right? Now, is there intelligence in the design? Yes, we wouldn't be here if we weren't designed properly, okay? And it's not all that random, okay? See this, five fingers? If you x-ray a dolphin's flipper, they got 5 bones in them, so there's amazing similarity. Yes, there's a lot of diversity, all this biodiversity in this species and that species. But you know what? There's probably a lot more similarities than are differences. You know, they say there's about a 95% similarity in the DNA structure between a chimpanzee and a human. Well, you know what? There's about 70% similarity between the DNA of the banana that the chimp eats and the human, okay? So there is some kind of a design, whether it's intelligently created or randomly selected, I really don't know, but let's keep going, all right? So, back to Darwin. Now, when did he come up with this? Mid-1800s. Now, what else was going on then? Well, we had slavery in this country. We didn't have airplanes, we didn't have cars, didn't have electricity, didn't know what the fuck that was. So, but they did have the steam locomotive, locomotion. It's moving, it's just crazy motion, plumb crazy. You know, that was a newfangled thing there. Really shook a bunch of people up, right? Horseless carriages soon to follow. Amazing. Okay, so any scientific theory that's sort of grounded in a time frame like that, you know, I'm sure some of it's great, some of it probably holds up, will stand the test of time. I don't know about the whole theory. I'd be a little bit skeptical with that, with any kind of mid-1800s theory. In fact, I'm a little concerned about some mid-1900s theories that maybe aren't all that great either. Okay, but back to Darwinism. Yes, well, what's happened is now they've become flipped, right? So Darwinism, you have all these science and educational professionals that are defending Darwin and Darwinism like it's some religious dogma, you know, like you have to take it on faith. We just don't believe in Darwin. It's like, we shouldn't have to believe, shouldn't have to have faith in that. That should be fact. It's science, right? If anything, you want to have faith and believe in the creation. Well, what happens on the creationism part? What do we have in science? We have the Big Bang. The origin of the universe was it was a singularity. Never really explain what that is. And then there was all this giant explosion, and from that, all the molecules, all the galaxies, all the planets took form. It's like, well, they didn't really explain what the singularity is, where it came from, where the energy needed to cause this explosion came from, and how it exploded, and blah, blah, blah. So actually, you got to take some of that Big Bang theory, the scientific origin of the species in the universe, on faith. There's a lot of faith there. Not so much in the fact area. So that's why we have this problem. All right? Now, is there intelligent design? Absolutely. Is there evolution? Of course. Do either one explain the origin of the species? it's not that we're not finding the right answer. We're asking the wrong question. To me, the question is there an origin of the universe? Maybe it's always been there. It just landed here on this planet. Maybe life is a integral, just intrinsic aspect of life. Maybe it can't help it but to live and to thrive and to grow. Maybe that's the way it was created. I don't know. Or maybe it evolved that way. And if there is evolution, if that is the one and only origin of everything, well then who came up with a primordial slime that was intelligent enough to evolve into higher beings? I don't know. So my answer to this is quit asking the question, okay? Probably not going to find it. Certainly not going to prove one answer over the other because that's dualism. The point is, life is here. And let's do something decent with it, all right? Instead of killing each other over which one is right over the origin of the species. Or we won't last. I'm Chris Sheridan, and this is driving me crazy.